Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the audio edition of a tarot reading focused on your ability to manifest. Very often when people pay attention to tarot readings, and especially these days on the internet, they are looking for predictions. That can happen, but that's more a situation of luck. There are 8 billion people on the planet. There is no one reading that's going to apply to even a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the 8 billion people. Just not going to happen. Too many variables. Okay? So I don't even go in with that idea. And in fact, a lot of people object to things like tarot because, well, you're predicting the future. This is not the case here. What we're talking about is potential. Every day, 365 days a year, I do a reading, a brand new reading that is spontaneous and is not planned. The cards come out as they come out, and we get an energy signature from the 5 cards. You see today's 5 cards. That energy signature is a guide for some of you listening today. Not everybody, but some of you listening. For some of you, this message will resonate. That's important because it means you are right at the door to possibility, to opportunity, and you have to act on it. It's not just a question of wishful thinking. Very often people get the idea of manifesting being, well, you know, if I just meditate and stuff, it'll come to me. You kind of move you into a frequency, and that frequency that you move into will match up with something else. How quickly can that happen? Well, sometimes almost instantaneously. Sometimes takes a long time because we're trying to get into a frequency that does not come naturally. It's best to work within your life career options, your life choice, your destiny options. And you can get that from numerology. You can get that from astrology. Take a look at the North Node, your moon, ascendant, sun, those kinds of things. And you can extrapolate what your life destiny is because we all have a different life destiny. If we didn't, then your brothers and sisters would be just like you and you just like them. But they're not. You guys are very different. And there's always a black sheep in the family. Where the hell did that come up from? They came in the same house that you came up in. What? That's because on some level, in some place, spiritual fifth dimension, I don't know where that happens. Nobody else knows where that happens. But at some point, as you are incarnating here, you decide what your life destiny is going to be. And you don't decide your life destiny on 3D issues. You may work toward your life destiny through 3D issues because we live in a 3D world, but that is not your ultimate destiny. And sometimes that's hard to perceive. So that's where the astrology can help. The tarot certainly can help. I am looking at potential. You have to act on it. You have to do something. Astrology, on the other hand, is timing. It's a schedule. We know when the next full moon is going to be. We know when the next eclipse is going to be. We know. Is that magic? No. In fact, we even know, I'll tell you how smart we are, we even know when Friday is going to show up this week. How can we know that's magic? No, it's not. It's understanding a schedule. Okay? That's largely what astrology is. What I'm doing here is not predicting, not anything near predicting. We are talking about your potential if the energy resonates. If it doesn't, come back tomorrow, see how that energy feels. But at some point in time, within the period of, let's really extend it out. I was going to say within a few days, but maybe a few weeks, you will find something that resonates with you. When you do, act on it. That's your door. So today we begin right in the middle as we always do. This is the Oracle card. Milk and honey is what we have here. Milk and honey. Now, historically, milk and honey were considered the best of the best of the best. Back not too long ago, a couple hundred years ago, you could get organic milk and organic honey because there was no other option. Now, because of greed, we've shitted up our food system so that nothing is food anymore. It's imitation food. But back 200 years ago and farther, we actually had organic food. And back at the milk and honey idea, you go back to the Bible, the land of milk and honey. Milk and honey together. You know, you could have lived off of those two things alone and lived healthfully. The milk was raw, was not pasteurized, and if you've ever had raw milk, it's creamy, it's delicious, and it's full of all the enzymes and the vitamins and the minerals, and it's power-packed. And then honey, we still know that if you can get good organic honey today, that thing will stay on your shelf for thousands of years. Yeah, thousands of years. How do we know? Well, back, I would say 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, some Egyptologists were in Egypt, of all places, and they found in a tomb there a jar of honey that they figure was at least 5,000 years old. And it was still edible, still good, still power-packed. There's a biological reason, I'm not going to get into it. But that tells you a lot about milk and honey. It was the best of the best of the best. It was literally the menu that you could eat off for the rest of your life. And honey is very sweet. Milk, unpasteurized raw milk, actually has a sweetness to it as well. It's just superfood. So you could say, within that sense, they are the essentials. That's what we're talking about today, the essentials for feeding your spirit. The meme today is constant gratitude is the secret to manifesting anything. Constant gratitude, the secret to manifesting anything. Well, how do you have constant gratitude? Glad I asked. People these days are going after happiness. Happiness is transient. It comes and goes. You can be happy today and sad tomorrow. For no apparent reason. It's just today you're happy, tomorrow you're sad, or vice versa. It doesn't make any difference. Hell, you could be happy an hour from now and sad 2 hours from now. I mean, it just works. That's the way it works. So happy is a very comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. Joy, which is something very different, lasts through all of it. It allows you to weather any storms. It allows you to soak up the bumps in the road of life. It allows you a level of stability. That's an essential. So constant gratitude needs joy in your life. That's one of the essentials. That's one of the milk and honeys. If you have joy in your life and you have peace in your life, you know, it is kind of the equivalent of milk and honey. It's kind of the equivalent of milk and honey. Joy and peace. Powerful, powerful, powerful. So that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Let's go all the way to the left. And we begin with a very positive, optimistic card, Ace of Wands. Wands are gratitude, among other things. It's being plugged into your life, consciously plugged into your life, so that you're actually participating. You're not just watching. You are participating in your life. That's really what you're looking for, is to reconnect, or maybe connect for the first time, to a life that, damn it, it means something. To me, it means something. Problem is, next card over, Nine of Swords. Swords are thoughts, ideas, usually from other people. We think they're, we thought them up ourselves. We didn't. Anyway, the Nine of Swords is nightmares. It's despair. It's distress. It's brooding. Something that I've noticed over the last few years, there is not as much connection. There is not as much joy in life. It's amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Something happens like a flick of the switch. Well, we know what happened. They separated us just like they wanted to, and we've responded. And people are very slow to get back together again. In part because of all the swords, of all the ideas, all the crap they're throwing at us. Just to confuse you, to conflate, to make you miserable. And so it's a question of finding that Ace of Wands energy, finding those essentials, the equivalent of milk and honey, something not just to feed your body, but to feed your spirit. Joy, peace, really important stuff that we really don't spend much time talking about. So that's how it's kind of setting up there. Let's go to the next card. I love this one, the Hermit. This is a journey in. Not looking out, looking in. Difficult to do, sometimes painful, actually, because you have to be honest. And that's what the Hermit does. He is looking for understanding. And to do that, he has to kind of stand alone. Now, that doesn't mean physically, but it means spiritually. Yes, my body, I'm standing right next to you, but my spirit is in another place. I am looking for that joy. I am looking for that peace. I am looking for the essentials. For our body, it's milk and honey. For our soul, it's joy and peace. And the final card says you can get there. 10 of Cups. You can get there. But you have to make the investment. You got to do the work. That's always the difficult part, huh? Starts with being optimistic, being enthusiastic, being grateful. That's the Ace of Wands. Dropping all this negative bullshit that surrounds us every day, this information stuff that surrounds us and makes us feel separate, the Nine of Swords energy. Go do the Hermit stuff. Look inside. Maybe it's just a walk down the street. Maybe it's a walk in a park, a walk along the lake. Whatever the case may be, even just sitting in your chair, turn off all the distractions, all the video, audio, all that stuff, and just let yourself listen here. And then finally, if you can do all of that, you can have this land of milk and honey. You can have the peace. You can have the joy, the things that are the absolute essentials in life. As I said earlier, back in the day, and we're going back a long ways, you could live on organic honey and organic raw milk. You could do that and live healthfully. Those were the essentials for your body. Now, go for the essentials to feed your soul. Joy and peace. That's the reading for today. Back again tomorrow with another tarot reading. Between now and the next time you and I do it together, however, peace and blessings.